As people age, it becomes increasingly important to examine habits that once seemed harmless, but may carry different consequences later in life. One behavior often viewed as natural and risk-free is masturbation. Yet many older adults are unaware that frequent engagement in this activity after the age of 65 can influence the body in ways they may not expect. In this presentation, we will look closely at the potential health implications that can arise with age and how this habit may contribute to subtle changes in physical and emotional well-being. Although masturbation is a normal part of human sexuality, health professionals have recently discussed concerns that, in some older adults, frequent stimulation may aggravate certain underlying conditions. By understanding how the body responds, particularly in later decades of life, individuals can make more informed decisions to protect their long-term health. We will explore its potential impact on cardiovascular performance, nervous system function, sleep quality, hormone regulation, emotional stability, and pelvic health. Before moving forward, if you find value in this information, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss future updates. And feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Input from viewers helps guide the content we create. One physiological area that can be affected more noticeably with age is the cardiovascular system. Intense, short bursts of physical exertion, even those that seem unrelated to exercise, can place strain on an aging heart. As arteries naturally lose elasticity over time, abrupt elevations in heart rate and blood pressure may be more challenging for the body to accommodate. This is comparable to the physical response you experience when climbing stairs or carrying groceries. The heartbeat quickens, breathing deepens, and fatigue may set in more quickly. Now imagine this happening without any gradual buildup. This absence of a warm-up is what makes sudden cardiovascular stress more pronounced in older adults. Several seniors have reported episodes of dizziness, tiredness, or irregular heart rhythms following private activity. For instance, William, a 72-year-old retired engineer who generally maintained good health, began noticing chest tightness and unusual breathlessness afterward. During a routine appointment, his physician explained that these symptoms are relatively common, especially in individuals with a history of elevated blood pressure or mild cardiac irregularities. He didn't need to eliminate the activity entirely, but becoming more aware of his limits helped him avoid unnecessary strain. This illustrates that the goal is not to cause alarm, but to promote awareness. As recovery times lengthen with age, sudden effort may challenge the heart more than expected, and being attentive to bodily cues can make a meaningful difference. Another area commonly influenced by frequent stimulation is the nervous system. The body relies on a finely tuned balance of neurotransmitters, hormones, and neural signals to maintain energy and cognitive performance. With age, these systems become more sensitive to overstimulation. While masturbation may feel like an effective stress reliever in the moment, overuse can lead to extended periods of fatigue, mental fog, and sluggishness throughout the day. The nervous system can be thought of as a rechargeable battery. When younger, this battery replenishes quickly and can sustain high levels of stimulation without issue. Over time, however, the recharging process slows, and even routine activities may draw more energy than expected. Richard, a 69-year-old retired teacher, experienced persistent low energy, often requiring naps to get through the day. Assuming it was simply part of aging, he didn't question it, until he reduced certain habits for a short period. His alertness, focus, and quality of sleep improved noticeably. This change highlighted how overstimulation can contribute to cumulative nervous system fatigue. A major component of this process involves dopamine, a neurotransmitter responsible for motivation, reward, and pleasure. Excessive stimulation can lead to what is sometimes described as dopamine burnout, where the brain becomes less responsive to dopamine signals. This can translate into reduced motivation, decreased pleasure from everyday activities, and mild depressive symptoms. Younger brains rebound quickly from dopamine fluctuations, but older nervous systems recover more slowly, which is why some seniors experience pronounced lethargy after frequent stimulation. Awareness and moderation can help maintain energy and cognitive clarity. Sleep quality is another area that may be influenced by frequent masturbation in later life. Many individuals believe that engaging in this activity before bed promotes relaxation, but this effect changes as the body ages. Instead of improving sleep, frequent stimulation, especially in the evening, may disrupt the hormones responsible for regulating the sleep cycle. Dopamine surges can interfere with melatonin production, making it harder for the brain to transition fully into restful sleep. This may result in frequent awakenings, restless nights, and a sense of waking up unrefreshed. Gerald, a 74-year-old who had always maintained a reliable sleep routine, noticed increasing disruptions over several years. He would fall asleep quickly, but wake multiple times throughout the night. After learning how dopamine interferes with sleep regulation, he shifted certain habits earlier in the day and observed a notable improvement in his sleep quality. This highlights how timing and frequency can influence the body's ability to rest properly. Poor sleep carries broader consequences, including increased inflammation, weakened cognitive function, and reduced immune resilience, all concerns that become more relevant with age. Prostate health also deserves attention. As men age, the prostate naturally enlarges, a condition known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH. This can place pressure on the bladder, contributing to nighttime urination, urgency, and difficulty with urinary flow. Frequent stimulation can irritate the prostate and surrounding muscles, temporarily heightening these symptoms. Some men report tightness, burning sensations, or weaker urine streams following periods of frequent activity. Leonard, a 71-year-old retired construction worker, was accustomed to good urinary health, but began waking multiple times each night to use the bathroom. His physician explained that overstimulation can worsen inflammation in the prostate region and recommended reducing the frequency of activity for a short time. Within weeks, Leonard experienced fewer nighttime interruptions and improved comfort. This demonstrates how small behavioral changes may provide relief for older adults experiencing urinary challenges. The pelvic floor, which supports bladder control, can also be affected. These muscles naturally weaken over time, and overuse or repeated strain can cause temporary fatigue. This may present as unexpected leakage, urgency, or difficulty fully emptying the bladder. Addressing pelvic floor health through exercises and mindful habits can help maintain proper function. As individuals move through their later years, hormone balance becomes increasingly delicate. Frequent masturbation can subtly influence the body's hormonal rhythms, particularly those involved in emotional regulation, motivation, and physical energy. Although the activity may feel like a quick way to reduce stress, engaging in it too often can create short-term hormonal fluctuations that contribute to irritability, low mood, or decreased motivation. One of the primary hormones involved is dopamine. Each episode triggers a temporary spike in dopamine levels, creating feelings of pleasure. However, when this occurs too frequently, the brain gradually becomes less responsive to dopamine stimulation. Everyday activities may feel less rewarding, and a person may find themselves needing stronger or more frequent stimulation to achieve the same level of satisfaction. This cycle can leave individuals feeling drained rather than restored. Consider the experience of Edward, a 68-year-old retired accountant known for his steady temperament. Over the past year, he noticed days where he felt mentally sharp and energized, followed by days marked by irritability, sluggishness, and reduced motivation. After examining his daily habits, he recognized a pattern. His mood swings often followed periods of repeated sexual stimulation. When he adjusted his routine and allowed more recovery time between episodes, his emotional stability improved and his energy became more consistent. His experience illustrates how simple changes can restore hormonal balance and improve overall quality of life. Testosterone also plays a role in this process. While it naturally declines with age, certain activities, including frequent ejaculation, can cause temporary dips in testosterone levels. These fluctuations may contribute to reduced drive, diminished physical strength, or subtle changes in muscle tone. Elevated prolactin levels after orgasm can further suppress testosterone production. Although these hormonal shifts are temporary, their effects may be more noticeable in older adults because the body's ability to stabilize hormone levels weakens with age. Moderation helps the endocrine system function more predictably. Another potential effect of frequent masturbation is diminished sensitivity over time. The body's sensory receptors adapt to repeated stimulation. When the same type of stimulation is used frequently, nerve endings can become less responsive, leading to reduced sensation and increased difficulty achieving the same level of pleasure. Some individuals become frustrated when they notice that what once felt natural and effortless now requires more time or focused stimulation. Robert, a 73-year-old former musician, found himself in this situation. For years, he maintained similar habits without concern. Gradually, he noticed weaker sensations and a longer time to achieve satisfaction. At first, he attributed the change entirely to aging, but after hearing similar experiences from peers, he recognized that overstimulation played a role. By spacing out his habits and giving his nervous system time to reset, he noticed that sensations became more natural again. This demonstrated that sensitivity can often be restored by allowing the body to recover. The nervous system is deeply involved in sensory response, and nerve fatigue can develop much like muscle fatigue. Repeated intense stimulation of the same area, especially over long periods, can dull the responsiveness of nerve pathways. In addition, excessive dopamine release can influence how the brain interprets signals of pleasure, reducing the sense of anticipation or excitement in other areas of life. Fortunately, this is typically reversible with rest and balanced habits. Emotional and social well-being also deserve attention. While masturbation is a private and personal activity, relying on it heavily for comfort or emotional relief can sometimes lead to increased feelings of isolation, especially in older adults. Human beings naturally seek connection, and emotional intimacy plays an important role in maintaining mental health. When solitary habits begin to replace social engagement, individuals may find themselves withdrawing gradually from friends, family, or community activities. This evolution can be subtle. James, a 75-year-old widower, experienced this shift after losing his spouse. He gradually spent more time alone, gravitating toward routines that felt familiar and private. Over time, he noticed he wasn't reaching out to others as often. Phone calls felt like obligations rather than meaningful interactions. He did not initially connect these changes to his daily routines. However, once he became more intentional about social engagement, joining community groups, contacting old friends, and participating in shared activities, his emotional well-being improved significantly. The sense of loneliness that had crept in over time diminished, demonstrating how balancing private habits with social experiences can restore emotional health. These patterns occur slowly and often unnoticed. The brain builds reward cycles based on what feels comforting or gratifying. When an easy private source of comfort becomes the primary outlet, motivation to pursue deeper human connections may weaken. Reduced social engagement also impacts oxytocin, the hormone associated with bonding and emotional closeness. Lower oxytocin levels can lead to feelings of disconnection or persistent loneliness. Recognizing these patterns can help individuals take steps to maintain healthy social rhythms and emotional stability. Pelvic health is another important consideration for older adults, especially men. The pelvic floor is responsible for supporting the bladder, prostate, and several lower abdominal structures. As these muscles weaken with age, excessive strain can lead to pelvic fatigue, affecting bladder control and comfort. Many seniors assume that urinary changes, such as urgency or occasional leakage, are unavoidable side effects of aging. But habits that overwork the pelvic region can exacerbate these issues. Harold, a 70-year-old retired mechanic, experienced increased nighttime urination and occasional loss of control when coughing or laughing. After researching the connection between pelvic floor health and frequent stimulation, he decided to reduce the intensity and frequency of his habits while incorporating pelvic floor exercises. Within weeks, he noticed improved control, fewer nighttime interruptions, and greater overall comfort. His experience highlights the importance of understanding how daily routines influence muscle function. Overuse of pelvic muscles without sufficient recovery can lead to temporary tightness or weakness, similar to how overworked limbs become fatigued. The nerves governing bladder function also become more sensitive with age. When overstimulated, they can send mixed signals to the brain, resulting in false urgency or unpredictable bladder responses. This is why some individuals notice increased nighttime awakenings, even when their fluid intake remains unchanged. Fortunately, many of these symptoms can be improved through modest adjustments, reducing frequency, allowing longer rest periods, practicing pelvic floor exercises, And monitoring the body's response can significantly support pelvic stability and bladder health. As we consider the full range of potential effects, it becomes clear that habits which once felt benign can influence the aging body in subtle but significant ways. Masturbation itself is not inherently harmful, but frequent overstimulation may interact with age-related changes in ways many people don't anticipate. By developing awareness of how the cardiovascular system, nervous system, hormonal regulation, emotional balance, and pelvic health evolve over time, older adults can make informed decisions that support their long-term wellness. The purpose of this discussion is not to create fear or shame around a natural aspect of human behavior. Rather, the goal is to offer practical insight into how the body responds in later life, and to encourage a balanced approach that supports overall well-being. Your body communicates constantly, and changes in energy, mood, sleep quality, bladder function, or sensitivity may be signals worth paying attention to. Recognizing these patterns allows you to make thoughtful adjustments that help preserve comfort and confidence. Even small modifications can produce meaningful improvements. Reducing frequency, adjusting timing, improving sleep habits, practicing pelvic floor exercises, and fostering strong social connections can all play a role in minimizing potential discomfort. Many of the effects described are reversible, especially when identified early. By staying mindful of your body's needs, you can continue maintaining a sense of vitality, clarity, and stability as you age. With that in mind, reflection becomes an important part of maintaining health. Which insights resonated with you most? Have you observed any of these changes in yourself, or noticed shifts in how your body or emotions respond over time? Sharing personal experiences not only helps you understand your own patterns more clearly, but can also be valuable to others navigating the same stage of life. Your perspective matters, and open conversations create opportunities for learning and support. Thank you for spending this time exploring these important aspects of senior health. If you found this information useful, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know one key point you learned today and how you plan to apply it in your daily routine. Your engagement not only supports the work that goes into creating this content, but also helps guide future topics and discussions. If you benefited from this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with others who may find it helpful. Your support makes it possible to continue producing thoughtful, informative material designed to inspire and empower you on your wellness journey. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next video.